one of the things you mentioned that I think is so interesting is the internal triggers. And so for a lot of us, we have these internal triggers, and like you mentioned, like we're bored. We might check stock or our stocks or Facebook or some other application where we just naturally go to whenever we're feeling that particular feeling. Like, how do people just find, like, what are your internal triggers?
Yeah. So in the book, in Hooked, I talk about different methodologies to do this. There's what's called the whys technique that came out of the Toyota production system, where what we're doing is we're asking ourselves and asking our customers these 5 whys of why they would use a product like ours. And so we don't stop with just the functional why, right? If it's email, it's say, why do you use email? Well, I want to send messages. Why? Why? And if you go down enough whys, you want to figure out what that sensation is, right? So with email, is it, I fear being out of the loop. I'm worried about what's going on at work, right? So when you start hearing emotions, that's when you know you've gotten to the internal triggers. Worry, fear, uncertainty, anxiety, fatigue, loneliness, all of these things are internal triggers. This is the beauty of what we do as product designers, as marketers. We solve people's pain. Right? That is the amazing charge that we have in our business, is that we get to solve people's problems. But you can't deal with those problems effectively unless you get to the root cause, unless you get to the internal trigger, not just the functional level, not just, oh, my customer wants an extra button here or there. That's very superficial. What you want to do is to get to that internal trigger, because it's only when you get to the feeling, when you get to the uncomfortable sensation, that you have your aperture opened up. Because if you start at too high a level, then your solution set is very limited, right? When you say, why do you use this product? Oh, I want to do X, Y, Z. Okay, well, then you're going to design a product that's pretty much like your competitor's product, right? But if you start at the base level, if you understand the feeling, if you understand the sensation that they are trying to escape, well, your option set expands, your aperture opens, and you have many more potential solutions for that problem when you can identify what that problem really is. And for every habit-forming product, it is fundamentally some kind of uncomfortable emotional state. And when you start from that base state, you'll find that there's all kinds of solutions that you can provide, particularly the ones that are the most habit-forming, that we find that something that quickly provides relief, that provides a user a greater sense of agency, control, that scratches that psychological itch quickly and effectively. Those are the kind of products that people return to time and time again, and the kind of products that we can build habits on top of.